Race 2 of the 2025 Australian round gets underway. Little bit of lift off the line from Andrea Iannone. He immediately moves across the path of Scott Redding to try and box him out in the run down towards turn 1. He's recovered successfully. Petrucci under siege now from Sam Lowes, who has to back out of it in the end. Great start from Alvaro Bautista from P11. He's already made up a couple of positions. He's got in front of Toprak Razgatlioglu, but there's contact further back through the order, and that bundles Bautista out of the way.
It looked like it might have been Montella in there with Bautista.
Yes, and Bautista's now trying to recover. It is the number 5 bike, as you say, that has managed to get through into 8th position. Iannone closer than anyone has been to Nicolo Bulega in races this weekend, but he's not quite close enough, and Bulega's gone defensive into turn 4, and that's a key moment on this opening lap as far as he is concerned. Sam Lowes moved out of the way there by Andrea Locatelli coming off turn 4. Lowes holds his ground, but he's going to run wide now as they come through turn 6, and Locatelli does eventually make the move. That's a good ride from him up into 5th place.
Yeah, you can see there that once you lose that momentum, it is a case of leaving yourself vulnerable for the next couple of corners, and that's the key here at Phillip Island.
Riding on board with Toprak Razgatlioglu as he attacks Alvaro Bautista for 8th position. These two riders already making good progress on this opening lap, and that's good news for Bautista, who doesn't always have things his own way in the opening few laps.
Toprak might do well just to follow Alvaro at this stage, just because we've seen it through the weekend that Bautista on that Ducati is working well around here. Maybe that's a way for Toprak to keep himself in that lead group.
Steve, Danilo Petrucci still sitting there in 4th position, up ahead of Locatelli, Sam Lowes, Alex Lowes. Then it is Alvaro Bautista directly behind. We ride on board with Toprak Razgatlioglu in towards turn 1. That's another move for Alvaro Bautista, straight through in straightforward fashion against Alex Lowes for P7.
Yeah, Toprak not able to follow him. Let's see what happens down into Southern Loop. Alex able to take that tight line on the run into their double apex left-hander, but as he drifts out a little bit wide for the second apex, Toprak puts his bike down the inside.
Perfect ride from Razgatlioglu just to hug the white line, and he is through on Lowes as well. So Bautista and Toprak coming through the field together. They now sit in 7th and 8th positions, and Bautista quickly gaining on Sam Lowes up ahead of him. That's the race now for 6th place. Bautista's made 2 moves in one go there. Through on Locatelli, through on Sam Lowes, and Bautista's released into 5th position. Game on for the podium places for Bautista.
Yeah, and for Alvaro, just riding the race that he has to ride from that 4th row of the grid. He was unfortunate this morning with what happened, but he's got the chance still to be on the podium.
Razgatlioglu duck out to the inside. He does so immediately into Douans at the start of lap 4, and he's labouring a little more than Alvaro Bautista to make those moves, but Toprak Razgatlioglu has got it done and pushes Sam Lowes down to 7th place.
Yeah, and obviously for Lowes on that number 14 machine, it's important just to be able to assess where you are right now as well with Toprak and see if this race comes back to you as well. We saw, as I said, that second half of the Superpole race, how strong his pace was.
Petrucci moves to the inside line. Bautista will try the cutback. Petrucci's got to cover the inside, and he does so successfully on lap 5.
Yeah, Alvaro is so good through the hay shed, all the way through testing, all the way through this week. That's been one corner where he's looked special. He's closer to Petrucci this time, but obviously Petrucci has that slipstream from Scott Redding as well. Yeah,
Bautista will have the double run, though, on Redding and Petrucci. On to lap number 6 then. And Bautista, the closest he's yet been to Petrucci, who in turn is attacking Redding. They go 3 abreast in towards turn 1, and that works out perfectly for Bautista. 2 in one go, and he gets it stopped into Douan. So Bautista climbs from 5th to 3rd, and now it's game on. 3 seconds behind the race leader Bulega, but only 2 from Andrea Iannone in 2nd place.
Yeah, and you can see for Toprak now just in a position to attack. It looks like Scott and Danilo Petrucci just don't quite have that same grip underneath them. Obviously compared to Bautista, we saw how quick he was able to close that gap. Let's see if Toprak's able to try and set something up into turn 4, but he's quite far back here on Danilo Petrucci.
Oh, but he's going to come from way back. He's not going to get it stopped there. We've seen him run on once already at turn 4. Razgatlioglu with the arm up. That's an apology, you'd assume, to Petrucci, who he's barrelled out of the way there because Petrucci's ended up down in 7th position. Sam Lowes comes through for 6th place.
Yeah, and this is down in towards turn 4, and you can see for Toprak just in too hot, can't get it stopped, and then makes contact with Petrucci as well. We obviously couldn't see that from the onboard.
Lap number 7 now for Nicolo Bulega, who's turned up the wick. New fastest lap of the race. 3 tenths faster than Iannone, 4 tenths faster than Bautista, as Petrucci recovers 6th position against Sam Lowes through Douan on lap number 7.
And Petrucci attacking into the southern loop, not quite close enough to come through on Toprak, but his speed through Douan was impressive. You can see though, trying to attack Razgatlioglu, left him vulnerable then mid-corner for Danilo Petrucci. He's going to get a little bit of a helping hand here because for Toprak Razgatlioglu, he's just been told that he has to drop one position. That'll be a notification that comes up on his dashboard to tell him that he's been given that penalty for the incident at turn 4 earlier on. For Sam Lowes, he needs to make sure he's in a position to try and carry through and attack Razgatlioglu as well. That's
Probably the softest penalty that could be given if a penalty was going to be given, because ultimately he'll lose 0.2 of a second letting Petrucci through, and the pit stop phase is about to start anyway, but he's got to get it done as quickly as possible. It's going to be a bit tricky to do that.
He's done it here. You can see he's ran out wide, and Lowes has actually come through as well. We'll see if Toprak tries to attack back into 10. Not quite able to, so 2 spots lost there for Toprak, but that's fair cop for the incident with Petrucci.
And really, it's not the end of the world. It's, what, 2-3 of a second for Toprak, and we know how quickly that can be won and lost on the brakes. Razgatlioglu's going to continue on as the 2 riders directly in front of him make their way into the pits. So Yonone is in from 2nd, Bautista is in from 3rd, Redding from 4th, and then Petrucci and Sam Lowes as well. Look at that time from Alvaro Bautista. New fastest lap of the race, a 1:28.8. Bautista looking more and more comfortable as this race goes on, and he now passes Scott Redding to recover 3rd position.
This is what we need to see from Alvaro Bautista. And obviously the Superpole race, losing those points, it was bad luck on his part. It wasn't any mistake for him. And for Bautista, he's now got this chance. Toprak Razgatlioglu, though, came back into the pit, so clearly a terminal issue there. We saw him have those couple of run-ins deep into turn 4 and turn 6, but no points on Sunday for Razgatlioglu.
Toprak Razgatlioglu retires to the pits then on lap number 12. It's race over for him, and a scoreless Sunday here in Phillip Island. Disastrous for his championship hopes, the number 1, with his main series rival Nicolo Bulega out in front and looking set to make it 3 wins out of 3. Alvaro Bautista 3 seconds back from Bulega here in 3rd position, hoping to dispatch Andrea Iannone as swiftly as possible as they make their way down the hill in towards turn 10. He can't make it stick this time around. And we wait and watch to see if Bautista can make that move down the start-finish straight at the end of lap 12.
We saw that he couldn't do it earlier on Danilo Petrucci and Scott Redding as they were working together. It took him a few laps to be able to do that. But for Alvaro Bautista, maybe he's close enough here to Andrea Iannone to move through on the run down in towards turn 1. And for Bautista, just coming out of the slipstream.
And Alvaro Bautista completely alongside Andrea Iannone at the start of lap 13. He has been significantly faster than the 2 independent Ducatis that are now directly behind him. The Go 11 bike in 3rd position of Andrea Iannone, under pressure from Scott Redding on the Bonovo bike, but of course Redding still with that penalty to serve. So Bulega, Bautista, Iannone is your new podium order.
We can see here into Toprak's pit box, and Chris Gonshaw and the team just trying to see what the issue was there. For him, a real shame to lose Toprak from this one. And the big problem for Toprak, obviously enough, is he'll leave here potentially 42 points down on the championship leader, Nicolo Bulega.
This was the reaction from Toprak Razgatlioglu.
Even leaving the pits, he was shaking his head there. Maybe an electrical issue there for Razgatlioglu, something on the dash, clearly able to display a problem for him. But for Toprak, it's no points on the Sunday, and we didn't get to say that an awful lot last season.
No, and it means a commanding advantage. There's the frustration for Toprak. He will remain on 20 points. Nicolo Bulega looking set to pick up the big 62, the maximum score available in WorldSBK.
Yeah, and for Bulega here, we can see on the number 11 machine, very well deserved here with a quarter of the race to go to be in position for that hat-trick.
We can see Petrucci very much looking at the tail of Sam Lowes here. What a great day it would be for him, as we see Remy Gardner once again in the gravel trap, this time at the end of the Gardner Straight.
Yeah, that looks like it's a turn 1. We've seen quite a few crashes at turn 1 actually this year, which hasn't been the normal spot to see crashes here at Phillip Island. It's such a fast entry, and for Remy there, what's probably happened to him is you come into turn 1 and then you hit that wall of wind, and maybe just unsettled him a little bit, but for Gardner coming off at turn 1, hopefully no ill effects from it. Petrucci now coming through on Lowes.
Yes, Petrucci is through for 5th position, and we'll see if Lowes is able to recover now. Lap 19 of 20, and this is the biggest battle.
You'd have to say for Lowes this weekend, 10th place in yesterday's race after really struggling in the opening stint with his front tyre, and then the Superpole race, and now this. It's the best we've seen from him in WorldSBK.
And Sam Lowes goes all the way around the outside of Danilo Petrucci. You don't see that all that often at Miller Corner. Petrucci is already through on Sam Lowe's by the time we recover them into Doohan. Now, what does Lowe's do? He looks over his shoulder to check on the progress of the riders behind him to know whether he can afford to be brave and attack Danilo Petrucci. Last lap, he recovered the position immediately into turn 4. What's his approach this time around? Where will Petrucci go to try to defend? It's Petrucci for now, who holds that 5th position. Sam Lowe's, who was 5th in the Superpole race, is not quite as close this time around, but he will take a wide swing. He hopes that Petrucci runs wide and he can turn back up the inside and drive off turn 4. Petrucci, though, has got the job done this time around. Bautista, Ray, Razgatlioglu, Petrucci. Welcome to the hat-trick club. Nicolo Bulega makes it 3 out of 3 in Phillip Island. Alvaro Bautista, with his best ride of the weekend, takes 2nd. Andrea Iannone back-to-back podiums in 3rd. And the race for 5th position. Petrucci over the line ahead of Sam Lowe's, but only just less than a 10th of a second in it. Locatelli holds off Lowe's and Montella by less than a 10th as well. Very close finish. We conventionally see those close finishes for the race victory, but here it's for those positions further down the order. And Van der Mark's going to be close as well to Garrett Gerloff. Disappointing Sunday for Michael Van der Mark.